The season finale is next week and I am ready for it. I think this was a really good season, good storytelling, maybe some silly drama here and there, but definitely good. So in this episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, it starts off with them playing pickleball. Pickleball has become like the new craze around the United States. I've never played it, but okay, they're doing what they're doing. I thought it was interesting that they said husbands versus wives instead of, I don't know, fiancés versus fiancés, whatever, women versus men, because none of them are wives, none of them are husbands, but okay. That was playful. And then when they sat down and Sierra's boyfriend, fiance was saying, she got no friends. She's like, I have friends. It's just dysfunctional. It sounds like it's really toxic. It honestly sounds like she doesn't have like real friends. Maybe Karlie is a real friend, but it sounds like she really falls out with people all the time. And is there a real friendship? Probably, I don't know. I believe her fiance. I appreciate that the hip hop part has been more dominant in these last few episodes. We see Spice and Scrappy together, him making his music video, talking about his song. Spice, because I'm a Caribbean gal, I have known about Spice since when? I was very frustrated, not very, but I was surprised that she would come on to a reality show like this when she is an extremely established, talented artist. And the fact that she's still on this show, girl, I don't know why. But I love that she brings her expertise musically to the Love and Hip Hop, franchise of Atlanta, whatever. The song sounds catchy. I cannot wait to see what they do at the showcase, cypher, cast disc concert. We'll see what comes. Yandy and Zell meet up to discuss him, being disrespectful to her and her relationship at the baby brunch. I'm glad Zell apologized. I thought that was great and very mature of him. I'm glad he came sober. Yandy saying that she and Mendeecees are good. That don't make no sense. Girl, y'all are not good. Your husband still won't wear his ring because he feels like y'all are faking it and he doesn't want to fake it in this relationship anymore. So y'all are not good. I thought it was strange how she worded it with Zell. If somebody bringing up, accusations automatically leads you to then call your partner and say, is this true? What is going on? I would say y'all are not good. You definitely don't trust this person. You definitely think there are seeds of truth in what the person coming to you about your husband is saying. So y'all are not good. And that might be the place to start with the not goodness. We'll get to see some more of Yandy and Mendeecees in the season finale. Listen, I don't think Yandy's ever going to leave this relationship. But sort of like Joc and Kendra, I think these people would rather be married and in toxic relationships than single and happy, or to move on and do the healing work so that they can attract something that's healthy and loving and, full of life. I do think it's interesting how Zell was talking about Saucy Santana antagonizing his baby mama online. Saucy Santana, I think, is really good at showing, pretending he doesn't care about something, because the way he threw the pregnancy test at Zell early on, the way he's like, I don't care, the attitude he had at the baby brunch kind of suggests he doesn't care. But the more he does things and is activated, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, you care a lot. I really cannot see them together. But it definitely looks like Saucy Santana cares a lot. Going out of his way to leave comments or like the pictures of the baby. Why are you even following her? Why are you even looking? There's a thought that goes through the mind that says, I'm going to click on this name and then I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. And I need to know what lounge she's going to be at so that I can throw money at her, because I don't think it's jealousy. Maybe it's jealousy. I don't think it's... Does he want, because he doesn't want, I don't think Saucy Santana wants kids. And definitely if he doesn't want them now. Why? Oh, is it not liking seeing somebody happy without you? That might be it. Zell has moved on and he's having a baby with somebody else. You didn't want to have one. and something about that bothers you. So you have to treat Zell nasty, even the way you communicate things that could be like legitimate concerns. Like every time I see her, she have a bottle, or she's always out, or whatever. You are doing it in such a mean and hurtful way. You just don't want to see Zell happy. That it sounds like more of a lack. Sort of why Saucy Santana can't seem to be okay with being in a relationship. He likes the new. And I think, not to get too deep in it, but I think a lot of the falling in love is chemicals in the brain that gives you a really good feeling and reminds you that you're great and life is great. But then, once you get into a long-term relationship, those dissipate, they strongly reduce so that you get into the normalcy of life. And for some people, that is boring. And so the boring doesn't feel like good, right? It doesn't feel like good enough or what I want it to feel like. So whatever. I think that's it. Saucy is upset that Zell is happy, doing what he wants without him. Moving on to Amy, Scrappy, Bambi, all the things. Amy said that Bambi said Scrappy is a Debbie Downer. And that's not the side she's seeing. Girl, you've been on 1 date with this man, 2 dates with this man. What are you talking about? Comparing any experience that she's having with Scrappy, I think is wild, to the fact that he was married with kids. I just think there's no comparison to that. If you haven't been married, I don't think you have any idea the concept of what it takes to be married. I've never been married. This is what the people who are married say. There is nothing like marriage. Even if you're living long-term with a person, if you get married, the married people will say it does change things. Like, things shift in a way. And so what we've heard consistently is that Scrappy does not take care of his responsibilities. He doesn't. And if you are a husband, and a husband comes with a list of things that husbands do, if you don't do them, and then you have a wife who is asking you, telling you, I'm pleading with you, I need these things done, your kids need this, we need that, the bills, the rent, all of that stuff. Don't you expect that if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, that he would be a Debbie Downer? Like, he probably wouldn't be a pleasant person to be around? I do get the sense that Scrappy wants to be taken care of, right? He is quite charming. And all the things that I know about Scrappy are wild, because when I look at him, I don't feel hostility. Like, I'm not really like mad at Scrappy. And I think something about his personality allows that. He was awful to Bambi. He was awful to Erica Dixon. He was just been so awful. But somehow, maybe it's the handsomeness, maybe it's the accent. He has some charisma about him that it's really hard for me personally, watching him as a viewer. It's so hard for me to be mad at him and for me to be like, oh, he's so bad and oh, he's trash, even though he is trash. Like, I do not have the emotional attachment with I know he's trash, but somehow I would be okay talking to him. He's not like, what's that guy's name? Oh, he was just photographed with Diddy. He was with the Puerto Rican princess. He, I think, is icky and gross and manipulative and mean. Maybe Scrappy is like, not innocent, ignorant. No, he's not ignorant. I don't know. Help me out. What is it about Scrappy that I'm just like, I don't know. He's probably still fun to be around, right? Whereas Puerto Rican princess, I forget her name too. I like the guy she was with who was cheating on Mimi and all of that. I just feel like I wouldn't want to be in his presence at all. I would be so grossed out. But let's see what happens with Amy and Scrappy. I do think it's weird and toxic that she is pursuing Scrappy. It definitely seems like she is the one pursuing him. I think that's weird. I think it's strange. I think she's doing it to get back at Bambi. And I think the way y'all use men, oh my God, this is crazy. She did ask him a real question though, right? Are you still having sex with Erica, Dixon, or Bambi? Yes. Not with Bambi. Bambi is so tired of this man. He's not having sex with Bambi. He has recently had sex with Erica Dixon, for sure. And I think the moment Erica Dixon found out that, I'm stupid. What was I thinking? I think maybe she heard some rumors about him and somebody else or whatever. she came back to her senses, like, wait, this is the same guy I was with. Like, I had a child, I was with him. No, this is the same guy. And she woke up. And it definitely sounds like Erica Dixon is the one that got away, although he never seemed to want to do what he's supposed to do to keep her. Whatever. Yes, he's still having well, I don't think now, right? But at the time that Amy asked, recently was having sex with Erica Dixon. They move on to Joc talking with Spice about how he doesn't want to do the cast album anymore. His reason, I have a lot going on. What is he talking about? This must be something that hasn't been shown on the show, because what do you have going on? Your wife threatening divorce? I don't think that's why you wouldn't make the album. Like, you don't really have to deal with other women who would be a problem in your marriage by doing the cast album. So I don't know why you can't do it. Maybe you just don't want to do the song or put the effort into being creative. Maybe that's it. Maybe you don't want to perform. I don't know. Whatever the reason was, it was kind of shady. The timing of it, last minute, you committed to doing this. I do think people should follow through on what they said they're going to do. He isn't. What can Spice do? Suck it up, move on, find somebody else to fill the slot. They do the somber music in the next scene with Karlie and her daughter, because her daughter's dad died of a stroke and her daughter was the one to pull the plug. It's sad. You know, it's sad. I didn't want to give 2 tips about death. Maybe I should share this in another video, but I just feel like it is super important to be proactive about death, because life is short. And people say that, but I think a lot of people are living in the future or living in the past and not really in the present moment. That the people you love can die at any minute. They really can. And how are you prepared to deal with their death? You know, if it's untimely or if it's, you know, eventual. If they're 99 and they die, how are you going to deal with it? So 2 things I recommend. One is Tuesdays with Morrie, a book that talks about how to build a relationship with somebody so that when they die, you are still able to continue having conversations with them. Like, their physical form is gone, but you can still have a relationship with them because they live on. It's not a spiritual book, okay? We can make everything spiritual, and he does have some of that in there, but you don't have to be spiritual to read this book and reap the benefits of it. And then the second thing I recommend is Stephen Colbert talking to Anderson Cooper. I know they're white men, but these are some of my favorite white men, okay? Talking about death, right? Anderson Cooper had just lost his mother not long before he was interviewing Stephen Colbert. And Stephen Colbert has lost 2 of his brothers and his father at the same time when he was very young. And how do you deal with that level of loss, right? Stephen Colbert has a wife, beautiful family, lots of money, happiness. He has his faith. And there are things, you don't have to be Catholic, right? I'm not Catholic to benefit from this conversation around death. No matter what religion you are, spirituality you are, whether you're agnostic, atheist, we all have to deal with death. And I do think the way he framed it is helpful. I'll leave a link in the description box, so it's here on YouTube, the interview he did. It's so visceral. There's a lot of crying, okay? It's so visceral, but everybody will have to deal with somebody dying, right? It's such a natural part of being human. That's all I have to say about Karlie Redd's daughter and death. Moving on to Kendra and Joc. You know, them, something about their scenes I don't like, that they're always centered around having some difficult conversation. They never seem to be having fun, enjoying each other, relaxing. It's always like an argument or problem solving after an argument, whatever. It would be nice just to see them having fun or something. And maybe they did it once with Rashida early on in the season, but something about the conversation I don't quite like. So Kendra, again, doesn't take responsibility for herself. And I have a video coming out next week about women who disrespect other women's boundaries specifically and don't realize that what they do with their man is kind of how they are and that they need to deal with themselves. It's a lot about boundaries and how to create ones, because Kendra is so focused on complaining about how disrespectful Mo was. And I agree. Mo was wildly disrespectful talking to your employer's wife, wildly disrespectful. But Kendra took no accountability in this conversation about how she approached Mo. You were rude. You had bad energy. You weren't here to have a conversation. You were here to attack. And that woman felt attacked. And so she responded in kind. I go high when they go low, but a lot of people maintain their energy when they're dealing with other people. So I'm not surprised that Mo, right, who grew up a certain type of way, responded to Kendra in that level of aggression. But also, Kendra, what is wrong with you? A lot. Should I do a video about therapy goals I would recommend for Kendra? There's a lot of things that she needs to work on. I do get the impression that she and Joc have great sex and that they use it to fix a lot of problems in their relationship. But girl, you see how quiet she got when Joc said you cannot keep using divorce and our marriage as a weapon against me, because she knows she's wrong. But that one might feel so obvious, but all the things that lead to you threatening divorce are what you need to work on outside of Joc. And it's not a Joc problem. The way you handled Mo was not because of Joc. That's just the way you handle conflict. You need to learn and do better. And then the last scene is the joint engagement party, which, I mean, is a cute idea. I think the thing that stands out so much is that Ciara and Karlie Redd have been engaged so many times and that they have so many different men, and this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. If you're getting married for the first time, do you have a big wedding? This is what that kind of feels like. Like, why are y'all even having an engagement party? Like, just get married. Like, just go get married and be married. Like, that's really the point of all of this. But it definitely feels like, you know, those set of people who the wedding seems to be the end goal, and not necessarily the maintenance of a whole relationship, that they would celebrate, I got engaged again. Girl, you did that like 9 months ago. You did that like, okay. I do think that death is one of those reminders that life is short and that the conflicts that you have with people are so petty, and if you really care about them, address it, because they can be gone like tomorrow. So I love that Karlie Redd talked with Bambi, was so kind and soft, you know, and then I love that Bambi also apologized. It almost does feel like this is the thing they do all the time: fight, make up, fight, make up, fight, make up, or whatever. I thought it was mature moments. I thought it was great that they were having the conversation. I do think it's awkward when they started talking about Amy, often in toxic relationships, right? Because these women don't just have toxic relationships. They have a level of toxicity themselves. One of the things that women often do is gossip to bond. And so they all start talking about Amy. Karlie Redd, who is like more serene, right, in this scene because of the death, it's like, I don't really want to engage. She doesn't say it like that, right? But she doesn't really want to engage in gossiping, especially about her friend. So she wants to stop, right? Then they go out and get drinks, but yada, yada, yada. Next, they move over to the conversation that Amy is having. Do I need a sidebar on Amy and Chaotic? That still seems so strange to me. Like they were just having sex sometimes. But also Chaotic and the other Erica sleep together sometimes. I do think you can be friends with benefits. I do. I think it does require a level of communication, respect. I don't think these people are mature enough to do friends with benefits, because you don't have to claim somebody you're having a friends with benefits. So Amy, what are you? Whatever. Ciara's fiance is there in the conversation where Amy is talking about Ciara. As a good fiance, I'm letting her know, you talking about my girl. I love that he spoke up, even though we can't hardly understand nothing this man is saying because he don't open his mouth. But I love that he spoke up about what you're the one doing the diss about my girl. Right? He didn't say my girl, but you know, you're the one doing the diss. And then Amy continues to explain herself. At some point, Ciara comes over. You know, it's just a whole bunch of mess. Ciara comes over and she's the one that experienced a recent death. So there's nothing calm or curious or understanding about her. She's in attack mode because she don't understand life is short. So she comes at Amy with quite the aggression. And I mean, yes, I expect it. No, I don't think it's helpful. So they're having this back and forth conversation. Listen, I have my captions on, but between all the bleeps and the over talking of each other, I don't know what they're saying. So when Zell is like, these are crazy words being spoken, I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. What are they saying? I think it's very low to, is it funny? Yes, but it's very low to attack Sierra's looks, but it is probably very effective at hurting her feelings because very secure people do not change their appearance that much. I think Zell was trying to say that Amy doesn't look good. You're a bisexual man. I don't know. I don't really trust your opinion on women's looks. I think you prefer men. Amy is beautiful, like extremely beautiful. I personally do not like the BBL look. I'm one of the natural girlies, especially when you understand where BBLs originated and how the trans girls were the first ones trying to look like women. I look like a woman, honey, okay? And so when I see BBLs and all that stuff, no, I don't think they're attractive, but I understand, well, let's say, because not all BBLs are this extreme. Amy has a BBL, I think it's extreme. I don't think it's flattering. There are some women who have pancake booties who just want a little something, right? So they look more natural. Those, fine. The ones that are such an exaggerated look of femininity, whatever. Bambi. Bambi is beautiful, but Amy is beautiful, top down beautiful. Her nose, her lips, her eyes, her face is so symmetrical. She is gorgeous. Her skin tone, her body, she works out, right? A lot of these girls already work out. She works out. Amy is beautiful, very toxic, but she is beautiful. The argument that they had, messy. I mean, what are y'all even arguing about at this point? Because it did seem like the insult that Sierra gave to Amy was blown out of proportion. And so now they're arguing about the diss track and you talking about me. It just seems like it doesn't really match the level of what the core of the conflict is. Maybe I never liked you anyway. Maybe that's it. And so they have this argument about nothing. I guess they're maybe going to almost fight. These people don't let them fight. All the security came around. And so I guess we'll see what happens next in the season finale. What's coming up? We didn't give us anything about Kirk and Rashida in the previews. Maybe there will be some closure there. Jasmine was there, I guess, but that was more about like Mendeecees and Yandy. All very strange things. Very strange things. But we'll see. We will see what happens next. Stay tuned and thank you for watching.